guys are ready to go ahead and start?
Go.
Coach, you can start with the statement.
Okay. Thought our players played football the way it's supposed to be played. I think they did a fantastic job of playing together, playing as a team, and believing in one another, supporting one another, and being a teammate, which is really important for us to play together. And I thought at the last 4 games, the way we've played football, we've been 3-1 in that stretch. I think that's a good thing and a good sign of the way a team's supposed to play football. And we're a little bit short at Augustana, but I thought today was another example of us playing together and playing hard.
So with third down conversions, Coach, they were 3 of 13. You guys were 11 of 16 on third down conversions. How important is that?
It's really important that you get some positive yards on first and second down. I think we did a lot of that today. I don't know if we were in a lot of third and a mile situations, but even some of the third and long situations, we ended up probably going for a little bit on the fourth, getting some real estate from back. And I thought Jon did a great job all day long trying to, manipulate some of the down and distance situations, making some good decisions, and running when he had to and throwing when he had to. And those are things that we look for in our quarterback. And Jon's first drive was a turnover, which is very unfortunate to start that way. But we're trying to tap into the dimensions and the dynamics of what Jon brings to the table. And sometimes when you do that, great risk. Sometimes there can be great reward, but in that situation, the risk didn't pay off. And they ended up taking their drive all the way back and took a lead at 7-0, and took a great second drive for us, and might even went into the third drive for us before we scored. So hard-fought game early, and I thought we never took our foot off the gas once we got things rolling. So that's encouraging to see that you can play football on a consistent level for 60 minutes.
Talking with Jon, I thought you got much more comfortable the second half. Talk about how you got better as the game went on.
Well, it'd be a great question for Jon, but I think he was a little nervous and probably was missing a few of the numbers that were coming in and running some plays that we were scratching our heads a little bit, but we're joking a little bit. But he definitely looked more comfortable. I think, as a coach, you try and put guys in the best situation you can. And I don't know if I put him in a lot of great situations early in the game to help his confidence, but some of the situations late that he excelled in were not easy situations, and I thought he did a great job. So hopefully, he's healthy. Hopefully he can make it back. If not, we'll move forward with Steve and Will, and that's the way it'll go. So it all depends on how fast he can heal. We know he's tough, because in the last drive that we scored, that he was in the game, he actually had, on a late hit, he had already strained his shoulder and finished the game. And I think he threw 2 or 3 passes on that drive and ended up throwing a touchdown pass with a really bad arm on his throwing arm. So tough young man, very proud of his effort, but I don't think he'll be one of the first ones to tell you that he didn't do it himself, and that his line, tight ends, backs, and all the receivers did a fantastic job. Put him in a position to make plays, and the rest is up to the players to do. And defensively, I thought we were outstanding. I thought Bryan was really active and looked like he was wreaking a lot of havoc for Southwest State. And Coach Kleinerman, obviously, and the whole defensive staff did a fantastic job of putting our guys in positions to make plays. And putting Radigan out of the game is nothing that we intentionally did, but I think he's a tough competitor. Bryan is, and coming into the game, visiting with Coach Sauter and told him how tough I thought he was, and it's very unfortunate. And hopefully he'll be okay that he had to leave the game, but he's a great player, and I think the Mavericks kind of took over after Bryan had left the game.
Bryan, talk about the defensive line. Got a lot of pressure and spent a lot of time in the backfield today. Was there something you guys saw, or was it just that day, the type of day for the Mavericks?
No, I think we just stressed throughout the week of we have to box that quarterback up, because he's really aware of what's going on around him. That's, one of his great attributes. He knows what's going on at all times. So we just talked about how we all have to stay in our lanes and put pressure on him, because a lot of the times that first guy may or may not get him right away, so he's going to be scrambling around. So we just box him up pretty well.
Jon, for you, going over 100 yards rushing, is that something that you're comfortable with running the ball quite a bit? Would you rather be passing, or it doesn't really matter just as long as the play's a positive play?
Yeah. In high school, we ran a lot of options, so I'm real comfortable with doing that. So I don't know, a good mix. That would be great because I don't know, it worked today, or whatever. So.
Coach Hoffner, yeah, I'd be happy anytime you see two guys go over 100 yards. Second time in your tenure that that's happened, seventh time in school history. Just talk a little bit about Taylor's game day on the ground as well.
Okay. I think it's outstanding that, you know, our run game coordinator, Coach Cunningham, would put our players in a position to be able to run the football that well. Having a quarterback and a tailback being able to do it, I think, is outstanding. But they can't do it themselves. The line obviously did a phenomenal job. I think we wore them down a little bit. Jon, when things break down, I think Jon did a great job of not scrambling wildly and actually put the ball away and got positive yards and got what he could. And that's what you want, you know, out of a quarterback. And other than the one turnover, I think Jon did a pretty solid job all day of taking care of the football and doing what it took. And that's what we want as a team. You know, we need to not turn the ball over. And we turn it over early. And then once late after the game was in hand. But those are things that we've been turning the ball over way too much lately, and I think today was when the game and the balance of the game was still in hand or still wavering. I think we did a great job of taking care of the football. And defensively created a lot of turnovers again today, which is exciting.
Anything else? Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.